TIFU by burning 700 pounds of marijuana and getting half of the military high. While overseas, one of the things we were charged with doing on a regular basis was disposing of insane amounts of illegal drugs. We usually were most concerned with the opium/poppy industry. However, a larger pot bust was enough to give us something to do. Typically, we would raid a compound and find a couple 100-pound sacks of ground marijuana. Enough pot for a lifetime. The pot fields grow wild out there, football fields in size, and 8 to 10 feet tall. Sometimes taller. It's grown in a way that corn is grown in the civilized world, with irrigation and pesticides. It's a remarkable sight. For those of you who have read my prior posts that mention marijuana use, I would like to clarify. I never touched the stuff overseas. Far too terrifying. They also mix pot with chicken poop and various other things, so there's another reason to steer clear. Anyways, usually we just covered a couple 100 pounds of ground pot in diesel fuel, lit it on fire and went home. Far too risky to hang around and wait for it to burn. Well, one day while searching a suspected HME, explosives, manufacturing house, we happened upon a room that had 7 or 8 100-pound bags, 320 kilograms, of the sticky icky. If you know anything about pot, you know it's fluffy. 700+ pounds was an absolute mountain. My mind reeled at how much money this would be worth back home. A literal fortune. This looked like the Hulk fell into a wood chipper. A genius counterpart suggested that we bring Mount Kilimanjaro back to our base and burn it in our own burn pit, rather than leaving it here. Well, that's a clever idea, I thought, relieved that we wouldn't have to risk getting ambushed with the biggest freaking smoke signal ever built. But ambushed, we were. The bags were loaded into pickup trucks and driven back to the base, hastily sliced open and dumped into the burn pit. I ran the idea by our leadership and we had a thumbs up all around. The early effects weren't bad. The smoke column went mostly straight up. However, as it grew in size, it lazily pushed itself in the direction of the nearest guard tower, Tower 3. Jokes went around as we awaited the results. Coughing could be heard immediately and the private in Tower 3 called out to us. We need to do something. Like, now? I could hear the brain cells slowing with every word. This was a churchy type kid, having never been exposed to the sticky. Sergeant, I'm high as butternut, he yelled moments after. I panicked and sought a solution that would keep leadership out of it. Someone, relieve him. Genius. Several individuals raced to take over Tower 3. We devised a plan for a 10-minute rotation until the wind subsided. How perfectly that column of smoke engulfed the tower was perplexing. Like a lazy potnado. Around this time our fire really kicked up as the wind shifted and grew in intensity. Right in the direction of the command post, and subsequently Tower 2. Several high-ranking leaders came out, looking furious. Who the hell approved this? The first sergeant yelled. I believe you did. The CO responded. Well, where's the detail that brought it in? That would be us, first sergeant, myself and a couple others. I thought back to the decision-making process and realized that I had a ton of responsibility in the matter. In fact, I was really worried. Abnormally concerned. I felt myself stammering over words, felt my heart begin to race, kept thinking, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus, I'm going to get caught! Exclamation mark. It was in that moment that I realized, I was sketching. I was proper baked, and not handling my cheesecake well. I turned around and just sort of left the conversation. My leaders did not need to see me drool. I hazily walked back toward Tower 3, Ground Zero, to find a dozen or so soldiers laying in each other's laps, goofing off, and having a deep philosophical conversation about a bug's journey through life. I wrote Tower 3 off as combat ineffective and wandered toward Tower 2 to see if I could help. A big stupid smile on my face. They seemed to be in better shape, however were arguing about how long each should have to be in the tower. Apparently, the concept of time was no longer a thing. I started to address the issue with a random sergeant in the area, but we got sidetracked in conversation about the effects of diesel fuel mixed with the pot. We theorized something stupid about how the diesel fuel had longer to soak in the smoke, and that it was causing the anger among the Tower 2 crew. I assume the wind was completely dead now, as I remember the whole compound being covered in a light haze. Here is a crude blueprint, green print. of the above narrative. At this point I thought it would be best to find a snack and wandered to our dining tent to see what was up. Here I was reunited with half my squad. Instead of relishing in the moment, there was a trouble cloud over our heads, and I could tell we were all pretending to be perfectly fine. Minus a couple phantom giggles, we did a pretty good job getting through a meal. Although I was personally quite affected, I think someone put the fire out, and a few hours later it was business as usual. A lot of stories flew around for months about the leadership getting high and whatnot. I did not personally see it. I came from Ground Zero, saw the leaders and returned to Ground Zero where I belonged. I theorize that my leaders took the same approach of handling it without involving their bosses. No repercussions followed. TL, Doctor, tried to burn a bunch of contraband. The wind shifted and the contraband burned us. This post breaks rule 2, nothing bad happened to Op, however we're going to leave it up because it's hilarious. Future tactics for engagements here: just smoke the enemy out, get everyone high and then go home. I lost it at Sergeant I'm high as butternut. Reading this at 5 AM in bed and I almost woke my wife up from laughing. Relieve him. Several high-ranking leaders came out, looking furious, ha ha ha. It's these types of stories that make me think I may be cut out for the military. TIFU by accidentally assaulting a child in a public park. So today was pretty butternut eventful. First, obligatory backstory. My best friend and I often go out on weekends, get drunk, party at clubs, etc. It's a lot of fun when everyone's enjoying themselves and letting loose. One weekend, my best friend's older brother came home from Croatia, first time in a couple years, to catch up with the fam and had plans with him to go out on the weekend. He offers me if I want to come, but I want them to have quality bro time, so I pass, truly wanting them to catch up and have some family time. It just so happened that weekend of all weekends that my best friend, we'll call him L, got into a fight with another group of guys. Although he and his bro didn't sustain too much damage from the fight, the other group were wasted from alcohol and pills. Elle and I got into talking about joining a martial arts gym. It would be for fun and fitness, plus, learning how to defend yourself seemed smart. We caught up and chilled at a local public playground. Keep in mind, imagine two grown banana young adults climbing up and around a tiny playground in broad daylight, and began discussing joining a local kickboxing gym. Being best friends, we started talking some zucchini, saying how much we'd deck the other and how we'd essentially easily zucchini the other up. We began to mock fight in public with parents and children walking by on the sidewalk with amusement tinged with judgment. It was just two 18-years-olds messing around. All of a sudden, I say something stupid in a mock Japanese accent, I'm Asian, chill, and proceed to attempt a jumping, flying, roundhouse. No idea where the butternut my leggy going kick at hell, when this child that couldn't be over 8 jumps in and says "Hi-ya." I couldn't stop my momentum and proceeded to yeet this kid into the sandpit. No amount of bracing could protect our ears from the banshee scream that erupted from his mouth. I went into instant panic mode, running to the kid to check on him. He wasn't seriously injured, but my leg collided pretty hard. His older brother or something came over, laughing his banana off. I apologized profusely to both the kid and his brother, and when he stopped crying I talked him up about how strong he was to take such a coconut whooping. His bro lightly scolded him for running into an area where two tall dipshits were flailing their legs and fists. All in all, it was pretty wholesome. The child had a new story to tell at school, and I got to kick a child in the face. Win-win. That's a joke. TL Drive. Best friend and I were pretend fighting in a public park, and when I attempted to do a ridiculous kick I saw on UFC, a kid jumped in and became collateral damage. Worth it. Edit. Holy coconut, thanks for the silver and gold. I am not worthy of this. Made this post at 12 AM last night, and when I woke up, I was not prepared for the absolute coconut load of humorous and kind comments. I appreciate you all. Edit number 2. I didn't make one point clear enough regarding the playground. Besides people walking past the area on the sidewalk, the playground was empty. Elle and I made sure that our presence wasn't making anyone scared or uncomfortable. If there were children already playing, we wouldn't have even entered the playground area at all. Hope that kinda clears some shiz up. I should not have laughed out loud at a kid being kicked, but this post has made my day. best cheesecake I've read all morning lol. I'm glad that my catastrophic eating of a child has brightened your day. Might make it my career if uni doesn't kill me first. Oh god, you're super lucky the kid was with a chill chaperone and not someone super overprotective. Yeah, when I saw Banshee scream I definitely expected a crazy helicopter mom freaking the hell out. Sadly, I could see my mother or my sister causing a huge scene in this scenario. To paraphrase Urban Dictionary, yeet is a versatile word that can be utilized as a verb or a noun. It can be an exclamation to express happiness or excitement. E.g., if you make plans with friends to catch up and do something fun like going out, watching a movie, or doing cocaine, it is appropriate in this instance to exclaim yeet as loud as you can. If employed as a verb, it is often used as a battle cry or focus shout. When one utilizes yeet in this manner, they are conveying that they are putting forth all their energy, their soul, their power, into an action. E.g., I yeeted the child into another plane of existence. This is all open to interpretation however, as one's intention when employing the power of yeet can have various subjective meanings. A simple rhyme I like to remember is, lest ye be intending to catch all dis heat, all ye be wary with the power of yeet. TL drive. It's whatever you want it to mean. My nephew yells yeet if I'm reaching for something and he goes and grabs it first. He'll also do a little victory dance after and everyone laughs. Whilst I'm still standing there dumbfounded just wanting back whatever he stole from me. TIFU by unintentionally betraying the trust of my new kitten. NSFW. Obligatory, wasn't today, but 2 days ago. So my GF and I adopted a new kitten a week ago. She's a very curious kitten, as many are, and she always has to be wherever my girlfriend or I go. She also has very little concern for personal space, so that also makes for some interesting moments. Well, my girlfriend was in the bathroom washing her face before bed, and I had to take a piss like a fire hydrant as I had been drinking some beers throughout the evening. So I went into the bathroom and began to pee. As I was standing there next to my girlfriend filling up the sparkling white bowl, with power washer type pressure, the sound of my piss splashing in the water suddenly disappeared and all I could hear was a sound that resembled water draining onto a carpeted floor. I looked down into my bowl of golden fury, and to my horror, the kitten was standing inside the toilet bowl with my stream of piss splashing off the back of her head. I started screaming "Oh banana!" and managed to pinch off my stream. The kitten didn't seem to mind getting wet via butternut, but as soon as I pinched off my stream she bolted out of the toilet and started sprinting around our apartment. This all happened in a matter of seconds and my girlfriend was standing there, jaw on the floor, and began laughing hysterically, yelling at me to go catch the cat. It took me a few minutes to get our kitten cornered and grab her soaked, shaking little body and bring her back to the bathroom. I set her in the tub and I had to hold this piss-covered feline still while my girlfriend sprayed her down with the shower head. I got her dried off and then she ran away from me and has since been very cautious whenever she comes anywhere near me. The last few nights I've woken up to her sitting on my chest, face to my face, and staring into my soul. I don't know what she's planning, but I'm sure she'll get her payback sooner or later. My girlfriend thinks it's the funniest thing she's ever seen, but she's still a little salty that I pissed on our new kitten. BL Doctor, I gave my first and hopefully last banana to my new kitten. Edit, Vegeta. What does the scouter say about his upvote level? It's over 9,000. Here's the little devil in question. 10/10 you will get murdered by the cat. Keeps us updated when you do. Can't update. I dead. If it makes you feel any better, I almost peed on my toddler when he ran into the bathroom to see where the sound was coming from. Lol, that would be hilariously terrible. Oh, but ha ha ha. Kitty will eventually forget. Treats help tremendously. I once accidentally shut my kitty's tail in a door, and it was kinked. I was beside myself, devastated, thinking I broke his tail. As soon as I said treat, however, his tail straightened out and he forgot all about it. Poor thing. Oh, don't worry, that spoiled little coconut gets all the treats lol. Did you ever finish peeing after you pinched off your stream? Some say he's still peeing to this day.